Like in the simple sense of that when, like if you look at anything, like if you just look in a direction or you listen to something or whatever else, the mind has shortcuts where it'll like outline the couch like if you look in one direction there is incredible amounts of high fidelity extreme detail, like you can zoom like just hone in on a square inch spot and just focus on it and just see more and more detail in that little square that you wouldn't see if you just like glanced at it. And given the entire peripheral, the entire vision scope of what you can see is that detailed, and we're making like mental shortcuts, so all we see is these basic shapes and depth and all this other stuff. If that alone would be so vastly different from person to person that it would just blow people's minds if we just hopped into another person's shoes. It's like, well, that is how you're perceiving just basic shapes, let alone everything else involved of like, interpretation of not just like things like depth, but like seeing a color black and like any associations you'd have with it, seeing the color brown and any associations with it. Like I'm just looking at a black and brown wall and like some a little image on it and things like that. Wires down the side, like just one person might focus on like there's two wires that are together and then they split and then they go back together, and like if multiple people look in that same general direction, one person might focus on like the kind of loopy part, another person might focus on like one side or the other side or the space around it or like the parts where they go together or the curve or the straight part. Like every person's going to have an entirely different central focus,
just in terms of vision only.
Yeah, just vision, let alone like a collective vision, let alone vision and sound or anything else, movement, all that. So given how messed up that is, what the heck else is there?